Welcome to our episode 24 of Luther's Large Catechism. Luther now moves in his discussion from what the Lord's Supper is to the person receiving the Lord's Supper. What does it take to receive the Lord's Supper worthily? And in Luther's day, the Roman Catholic Church had taught all sorts of things. What you do, how you are attired, fasting before you receive the Lord's Supper. And we see some of that in Luther's words here, that it may serve a good purpose, but the thing that the Roman Catholic Church totally overlooked, not surprisingly, was faith. By faith, we receive the Lord's Supper worthily. And that's the big idea for this week's reading. By faith, we receive the forgiveness of sins which Jesus lays out in the Lord's Supper. Luther says it is there for everybody. He sets the table before everyone, but by faith we claim those blessings as our own. Luther points to the words of Jesus and he says the words demand it. And he points to for you. Now, if I say this is for you, you got two options. You can say, he isn't talking to me, this is not for me, or this is for me, I'm going to take it. And by faith, we take the blessings that Jesus gives. We apprehend them, we receive them. And so really, if you're looking for what is the preparation that is necessary, it's a preparation, a preparation of the heart. Faith in the heart receives these blessings of forgiveness of sins, life, and salvation through the Lord's Supper. And then, so if that's the case, then what are some ramifications? Don't ignore it. Luther made the comment that since we have been freed from the folly of the Pope, and you think of all the things that went along with having the Lord's Supper, you got to say confession, you got to be in a state of grace, you got to do this and that and this and that, and oh, by the way, your ruler better be on good terms with the Pope, otherwise the whole country doesn't get the Lord's Supper. He says now that we've been freed from that folly, some people presumptuously go years without receiving the Lord's Supper. And certainly it's a despisal of God's word, Luther says, but also it's presumptuousness on their part, because the devil is always attacking us. We need that daily source of strength that we receive from Jesus giving us his true body and his true blood. And then he also addresses the fact that some people following Roman Catholic tradition would simply observe the Lord's Supper being served and think that they benefited from that. And he says, no, this is not a show. This, I guess I would say, it's a participation sport. It's not a spectator sport. It's for us Christians to eat and to drink, to believe that through Jesus' body and blood offered to us in, with, and under the bread and the wine, we have what those words promise us: forgiveness of sins, life, and salvation. We have that by faith. Enjoy the reading and respond to the questions. Interact with your colleagues' comments on it. May the Lord bless your study.